Good morning, John Shepherd McKenzie here. Our text for today is from Ezekiel 6, and God is preparing the nation of Israel for the judgment which will fall upon them because of their unfaithfulness. Starting at verse 6. In all your dwelling places the city shall be laid waste, and the high places shall be desolate. That your altars may be laid waste and made desolate, and your idols may be broken and cease, and your images may be cut down, and your works may be abolished. And the slain shall fall in the midst of you, and you shall know that I am the Lord. Yet will I leave a remnant, that ye may have some that shall escape the sword among the nations, when ye shall be scattered throughout the countries. And they that escape of you shall remember me among the nations, whither they shall be carried captive, because I am broken with their whorish heart, which hath departed from me, and with their eyes which go a whoring after their idols. And they shall loathe themselves for the evils which they have committed in all their abominations. Anyway, we have here the theme of God's judgment, and God judges with a very broad brush. He judges nations at a swoop, and there is a whole lot of splatter and stain and waves of destruction that come from God's judgment. God does not do surgical judgments for the most part. His judgment is going to be upon the nation with the good, the bad, the faithful, and the unfaithful. It is not God's job to save the whole nation. It is not God's job to save those whom the nation choose as their designated people to be saved. It is not God's job to sort out those who have done right and those who have done wrong, and somehow miraculously preserve those who have done right. It is not God's job to save those who have a massive following on Twitter, or are well liked and respected by the group, or somehow fit in. In all of this, God's judgment is coming, and it's going to be severe. It's going to be very messy. There's going to be a lot of blowback and splatter. At any rate, there will be a remnant. The remnant will be those who are left behind as a witness to what they had, to what they screwed up, and to what God may yet do again as he looks to keep his promises not in this generation, but in some future generation. That whole idea of a remnant was powerful throughout the period of exile. It was powerful when they were few in number in their own land after exile. It was powerful when there were mass slaughters of people, sometimes by the Greeks, sometimes by the Romans. It was certainly powerful in the early church when they found themselves persecuted not only by the Jews of Jerusalem and environs, but as they got out into the larger basin of the Mediterranean. They were persecuted there by the provincial governments and by city officials, as the book of Acts details. Yet there is a remnant that is faithful and looks forward to the day when God will finally keep his promises. If you survive the day of judgment, you might be a part of that remnant. If you look for the ways in which God's destruction is widespread, you will certainly find it. But hope falls to those who are in the remnant. We look for a new day in which God's promises are fulfilled. Have a great day. God bless.